For weeks we've been waiting for parts, waiting for weather, waiting to get our boat, our home, back in working order. Without a working engine and proper fuel supply, we're not just stranded, we're vulnerable. This isn't about convenience, it's about safety, about self-sufficiency, and about being ready for whatever comes next. So it feels like we're getting there. We've been immobilised for almost a month now, but just going up to the courier to pick up the first lot of parts. So it feels good. Just leaves one lot of parts to come from Australia. This is good. So a friend's giving us a lift up to the courier depot and we'll have the parts in our hot little hands. So this is really good progress for us. Feels good. So I got the parts successfully at the courier. Went to the depot, picked them up. After what's been a bit of a rigmarole and a week of waiting, it all went very smoothly. Assuming what we've got's right, which I'm pretty sure is, but it's good to check. The crucial part are the two fittings coming from Australia, because they're the adapters, the flare thread to BSP adapters, which we just had no show of finding here. That's really been the major problem for us. So there's a barbecue company in Victoria, Australia. They've been very helpful and FedExed or couriered two of these adapters to us. So the shipping was like probably 4 times the cost of the actual fittings, but if you know, there's no way around it. It has to be the right thread, and a country like this just doesn't have those threads, so that's just the situation we've been in. So that'll be the next thing, but for now let's check out these parts. So the adapters have arrived from Australia, which is great news. It's the last part of our parts, so I'm just off to FedEx to grab them, and it's going to be a moment of truth as to whether I've got the right adapters. I sincerely hope we do, otherwise this is going to be epic fail, but I think it's going to be an epic success, so we'll just see. Moment of truth, just done the FedEx run. And it's a very big box for 2 little adapters, but that's all good. At this stage of the game I'm not going to judge on the packaging. Oh yeah, it's like past the parcel. Okay, look at this. I feel a bit nervous. Stakes are high. Packaging inside packaging. I'm almost too nervous to look. It fits, but that's only half the picture. Because the other end, that's the BSP thread, the flare thread has to fit. So I'm going to get in the little engine space and try it out. A month and a bit waiting on these pieces here. Kept us on the dock for a month and a bit, but it's not over yet. So this is the flare to BSP adapter, and I'm going to climb into the engine bay and check that this end fits on the tank. Okay, so this is going to go onto the tank, and then this is going to be our shut-off valve on the tank. Okay, so we'll be able to shut it off, which we currently don't have, which has been part of the problem. And then we'll cut this hose to length, because we bought a metre of it, just in case. And then this will be the top end. The adapter, we've got a flare fitting at the top, so this will need to go in. So anyway, enough talk, let's go check the other end of this. Finally our parts arrived from New Zealand and Australia, and it's time to fix the diesel tank. Without reliable fuel flow, we can't run the engine. without the engine, we lose our ability to manoeuvre in tight spots, avoid bad weather, or even get to a safety in an emergency. The parts fitted perfectly, but it wasn't over yet. Had a bit of a moment there, screwing on the tap, and that's the little, if you like, the little handle on the tap, and I couldn't rotate it because it was hitting the back wall of the engine bay. Then I realised that this thing screws off, but there's still, that bit there still protrudes out and hits the wall. So I'm going to use the Dremel, take out a little bit of the wood on the back wall, and then this will go on, tighten it down nicely, and then I can screw this on, and then that'll be the bottom done. Okay, so getting there, as I was putting this on, this is the inlet to the water separator. There's an elbow here, which had, this was orientated straight down, and there was movement in it. So it was loose, and I can see why it had been, I can sort of see why it had been left like that. But if there's movement in the thread, then that's no good. So that could also have been the problem. So for now, I've just put another quarter of a turn on it and brought it up to horizontal, and now it's tight in the thread. So I think that's important, and then I'm just going to have to loop the line in a bit of a loop, and then down to the bottom fitting down there. So it's a little bit different to what it was, but I can't see the point in putting it back in a way that has got looseness in the fittings. It's just crazy. So we'll see how this goes. Okay, here's the fix. So tap on the water separator here, hose, it's just going to do a loop for now. It may well stay like that, I think. Loops around, heads down to the bottom. Yeah, there is tap. You can see the red handle on the tap, so just the engine installation is a bit there, but there's the tap there. So we should be back in action. Just need to get our tank full, probably do that tomorrow morning before it gets hot, and prime it, get it running. The moment's come, got all the parts fitted yesterday successfully. We're going to fill the tank from jerry cans. We're going to make sure each jerry can's exactly 20 litres, and then we're going to calibrate a dipstick. This is low tech but very reliable, just how we like it on the boat. Low tech but reliable. So we're going to put in a 20 litre jerry can, and then we're going to put a mark on the stick and fill the tank. So we'll have a calibrated stick. We need to do this because the tank isn't rectangular, it follows the curve of the hull, so it's not simple to know how much you have based on how much you put in. We're going to rip into this now and see how we go. Because we had to empty our diesel tank whilst we waited for the parts to arrive, it was now our opportunity to calibrate how much fuel our tank could hold. Knowing exactly how much fuel we have isn't just about convenience, it's about survival. Running out at the wrong moment could leave us in real trouble, especially on ocean passages. To date, we haven't had a reliable way to measure how much fuel was in our tank, so we're making sure our readings are accurate before we move forward. Just going to check our new fittings, make sure now that there's 40 litres in there that it's all good. Yep. got 160 litres in the tank, so that's sort of confirms what we were expecting, which is good. And so now need to bleed the engine, get it running, and then do a good cleanup in the bilge areas and stuff, because initially there was diesel spilt. We've cleaned it up, but now's the time to do a really good cleanup. So it's going to be a few more hours work yet. So time now to bleed the engine, and I think there'll be air on the tank side of the separator, so I'm going to open the bleed valve on top of the primary filter, pump it through, nip that up tight, then open the bleed valve on the secondary filter, pump it through until I see diesel coming out, lock that down, and then that should be enough for the engine to be bled. Should start at that point. So hopefully it's that simple.
I got no reason to be sad. My mood is convinced me that it's bad. With every emotion that I had, but you don't care. Oh my God, it's so strange how we end up being here again. I don't care as long as you get me off my feet. I don't know what to say. Oh my God, it's so strange.
This moment, hearing the engine start, is a relief.
It's a freeway to outer space. If you get
But we're not done yet. Now, it's putting the rest of our home back together and heading out on the lagoon to ensure the engine is shipshape. While we prepare Tycho for sailing, unfortunately, the weather has other plans for us. A series of tropical depressions forming in the Coral Sea heading our way means we're staying put for now. It's frustrating, but with this lifestyle, weather dictates everything and safety comes first. But soon we will have our chance to get out on the world's biggest lagoon and test our engine to make sure it's in good working order. So we just got a bit of weather coming through in the next week. Been quite a number of tropical lows across the top of Australia and the Coral Sea, and we've got a low system that's going to come through on Sunday by the look of it, and it'll be with us for much of the week through till Wednesday, Thursday. So we're just going to tidy the boat up a bit and get ourselves sorted out. There's going to be 2 other boats coming in onto the dock, so we need to move around a little bit and make some space for them. So we'll wait for the wind to die down a bit. It's quite windy at the moment, and I'll show you what the weather system looks like at the moment. So we're at Friday midday here, and as we head into Saturday, you can see the centre of the low is just to the west of Vanuatu. We've got 2 models side by side. On the left's the ECMWF and on the right's the GFS, and so they're still showing some different things, which indicates that there's still some uncertainty as to what might happen. Heading into Sunday, things will pick up according to the ECMWF. That's the model that I tend to favour, and we're the green dot at the bottom of New Caledonia there. So as we head into Monday, centre of the lows at the northern end of New Caledonia, and then it's quite windy from the east into Monday night and into Tuesday. The centre of the low looks like it'll pass south of New Caledonia. Still a bit early to say. This is now Wednesday, and into Thursday afternoon starts to move away, and Friday the system moves off. So it's going to be a windy week, and so we'll just spend a bit of time getting ourselves sorted now and keep monitoring the weather twice a day with the updates. After all this hard work getting everything sorted, finally can leave the dock. Dad's just left. He's headed off on the shuttle back to New Zealand. Unfortunately, just low pressure after low pressure, we couldn't get out onto the lagoon with him, which is a shame, but had a good look around on land all the same. So yeah, we'll let the lines go in a minute and we'll give the engine a good run. It's a pretty light wind today, but we'll give it a good run and see, just double check everything's okay. So let's see how we go. Although there wasn't any wind to stretch Tycho's sails, getting out on the lagoon felt so good. It gave us an opportunity to check the engine. Our boat isn't just how we travel, it's our home. And getting her back together again means more than just being able to sail again. For us it means security, it means freedom, and it means being ready for whatever comes next.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoy our videos, please consider subscribing, giving us a thumbs up and sharing with those who you think will enjoy it too. A massive thank you to our Patreons for your support. It means a lot to us. Thank you again and see you next Sunday.